What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute since I have posted a video, and especially since I've talked about the Rangers at all, much less baseball or anything else. But I am here under very, very great circumstances today, as yesterday officially Adrian Beltre was inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame alongside Todd Helton, Joe Mauer, and Jim Leyland, who was elected through the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee. So congratulations to all four of them. As many of y'all know, Beltre is my favorite player of all time. Definitely a core piece of my baseball watching life. Being able to see him from the time the Rangers signed him up until his retirement. Thankfully, they kept him. You know, I was at the 3,000 hit game, and I was very, very, very fortunate to briefly meet him at the Fan Fest in like 2018. So this isn't about me though, but I just wanted to kind of mention that because this is really, really momentous. It's awesome for him, and it is hard to talk about the Hall of Fame season, that being when they collect all the ballots and start kind of posting about them, without mentioning Ryan Thibodeau, Mr. Tibbs himself, and I'm hoping I said that correctly. I apologize if I did not. But Ryan Thibodeau, he is the GOAT for tracking the Baseball Hall of Fame stats. And just to give y'all some context, he pretty much compiles all the data and gives the fans and other people ideas of who is going to get in and who is not. This was yesterday in the afternoon, I believe. And he only had about 60% of the ballots because, for one reason, you can submit it anonymously, and for other reasons, people don't want their ballots to be seen. As you can see why someone voted for Bartolo Colon, unironically, in the Hall of Fame, which is crazy. But anyway, yeah. So this was kind of an idea of that there. And you could see Beltre at 99%, Joe Mauer 83%, Todd Helton at 82%, Billy Wagner at 78%, and Gary Sheffield was on the line at 74%. For those who don't know, you get 10 years to be on the Hall of Fame ballot, and you need 75% to make the cut. You also need 5%, I believe, to stay on the ballot. So all of these players whose names are in red, they will not be on the ballot anymore if this was the final number. Usually these percentages are a little bit higher than the final results, only because they don't have the complete set of data, right? So just a little sidebar about that, but I wanted to shout him out. Please go follow him if you have any interest in the Hall of Fame process, how the voting works, kind of the pseudo drama that comes out of people submitting ballots, because sometimes this is a ballot people submit, just nothing checked off, and they say, here you go. There were also a couple people, I believe, who submitted one that was just Alex Rodriguez and just Manny Ramirez. Up to you if you think they're Hall of Famers, but just a little sidebar there. So go check them out if you have any interest in that. But we'll take a look at the real percentages now. Beltre ended up with 95.1%. You needed 289 votes to be elected. He got 366. Todd Helton got 307, and Joe Mauer got 293. You'll notice as well, Billy Wagner fell just short, 5 votes short. And that's kind of when you have to analyze, like, okay, you know, some of the people who submitted a blank ballot, they could have cost him potentially. There's also people that don't use all 10 spots. And I feel like unless you're truly, truly, truly strong on your opinion that there aren't 10 Hall of Fame worthy names on there, you should use all 10. So little sidebar there again. But yeah, Beltre was a top vote getter. I mean, it's not surprising. He was arguably, and I think pretty definitively, the best third baseman in the last 20, 30 years. Now, looking kind of defensively, there have been some matches for sure. Nolan Arenado, I think, has like 10 gold gloves. Manny Machado has a few, you know. But just most well-rounded for batting average, power, fielding. Obviously, speed was not his forte, but that's not what he got paid for. So he was one of the most well-rounded players that I've ever been able to watch on TV and in person. So there's a couple other names on here as well of guys who will try to get back in. Beltran over 50%. And then this list at the bottom here of players who will not be on the ballot anymore. So I was correct on that, I guess. You have to have less than 5% or more than 5% rather, to stay on the ballot. So just a little bit of a view of the overall thing there. Another high-level look at some of Adrian Beltre's resume here. I mean, 21 years to start with is absurd. Most players don't even make it to 5 or 10 years, which I believe this is another stat, by the way. You have to play 10 years to get on the ballot, which is why you'll see names that you're like, how are they Hall of Fame? But it's just, if you've played 10 years, I think you get on automatically. 93.5 wins above replacement, almost hitting that triple-digit mark. 4-time All-Star, which depends on how much you value that. Well over 3,000 hits, 5 Gold Gloves, almost 500 home runs as a third baseman, 2 Platinum Gloves, just over 1,700 RBI, 4 Silver Sluggers, well over 100 OPS plus. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, and so does Ray Davis. He had this to say about Adrian Beltre. For more than 2 decades, Adrian excelled both offensively and defensively as one of the top third basemen in Major League history. His competitiveness and desire to be in the lineup every day, no matter the circumstances, earned him the utmost respect and admiration from his peers. He is a true legend of the game. I fully agree with Mr. Davis on this one. Reminder, by the way, I believe they signed him for 5 years, $80 million, which looks like an absolute steal now, looking back. And even really at the time, I know when they first signed him, everyone was like, this is a terrible deal. He just had the contract year with Boston, like it's a fluke, da-da-da. And then he helps lead them to the World Series his first year in Texas, among the other playoff appearances and his own just great individual performances. And this was the little graphic the Rangers posted to commemorate him being in the Hall of Fame. I think they got this little logo as well, so I'm expecting them to have a day on the promotional schedule to kind of maybe commemorate that. I don't know if they can get him out for that, but they'll commemorate that in some way, I'm sure. So that's about it. Just wanted to cover a few things with that and a little bit of the overall Hall of Fame results from this year. I don't think really anyone got snubbed except Billy Wagner by 5 votes. He is entering his 10th season, and it's very, very arguable Gary Sheffield did as well. I don't really have memories of watching him. I think he was a little before my era, but I'm always about the numbers. So if you look at the numbers and they're good and the legacy the player left behind, then why not? But unfortunately, it's too late for Mr. Sheffield through the traditional way. So, yeah. Let me know what y'all think of the results this year. 3 new Hall of Famers: Joe Mauer, Todd Helton, Adrian Beltre, and Jim Leland as well on the contemporary era committee. And let me know also who you think is next on the Rangers Hall of Fame, maybe. Because I know they only have 3 now. He is the 3rd. They had Nolan Ryan, Pudge Rodriguez, and now Beltre have all gone in as a Texas Ranger. So appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully we can get some news to talk about here soon. I think we're waiting on the TV deals to pan out so we can, so they can sign Jordan Montgomery. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that being said, thanks again for watching. Thanks again for supporting the page. We've made it to the World Series championship, post-championship era now. So a new experience for Rangers fans, but I'll talk to y'all later.